Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next video. Today we've got another Naruto character review, and today we are going to be talking about Tayuya, one of the Sound 4, or Sound 5, as you will. Before we get too far into this, I just want to say spoilers, or spoiler alert. There are going to be spoilers for Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, mostly Naruto, and we're not going to talk about Shippuden very much, if at all. So yeah, let's get started. Make sure you watch that before we get in. But anyway, so Tayuya, as I said, she's one of Orochimaru's Sound 4 or Sound 5. We first see her when she is fighting. When her and the other members of the Sound 4 are protecting Orochimaru in the attack on the Leaf Village, making sure that his fight against the Third Hokage is not interrupted. You don't see much of her there. Like, she's just kind of there. She puts up the barrier, makes it so no one can get in or out, and that's pretty much all she does. Well, she works together with the other Sound 4 to do that. Anyways, the next time you see her is when she is trying to convince Sasuke to join Orochimaru. She is one of the ones who is trying to convince him, one of the ones talking more than the others. Not as much as she's not talking the most, but she is talking quite a bit. She does talk them into. She does eventually talk him into it, and he leaves. And then we see him. Not him. We see her again when the Sasuke retrieval team catches up to him. She is very foul-mouthed, way more so than the rest of the Sound 4. Yeah, she's got a mouth on her. She's got quite the attitude to her as well. Anyways, she ends up, leaving Jirobo behind to deal with them as she takes off with her other Sound 4 allies. Then again, when the Sasuke retrieval squad catches up, she takes off again, leaving another one of her allies behind. It's hard to remember all their names, to be honest. But anyways, yes, so she leaves them behind. I know I just made videos on these guys, but I can't remember, like a week and 2 weeks ago, respectively, but I'm struggling with their names. They're such minor characters. They're really only important in this arc. Anyways, so her and Sakon, see, I remember his name now, are going, then leave, taking Sasuke by themselves, at which point the remaining members of the Sasuke retrieval squad, which by this point is down to just Naruto, Shikamaru, Kiba, and Akamaru, his dog, they leave a trap for them and manage to get Sasuke back, which really ticks them off. Sakon takes off after them and is about ready to take down Akamaru. Has him all trapped. The paper bomb's about to blow, and Kiba jumps in and stops it to save Akamaru, and all three of them end up falling off a cliff, and they go do their thing. Meanwhile, Tayuya is left to deal with Shikamaru and Naruto, which isn't looking good for Tayuya. It's 2-on-1, and they have Sasuke. That's when Kimimaro shows up, and Tayuya is scared. She is not happy at all to see Kimimaro. And Kimimaro straight up threatens her, but says to deal with them as he takes Sasuke back to go take her back to Orochimaru, who Sasuke's been in this coffin like this entire time. So he's not really there. It's just a coffin for the most part. Anyways, Naruto and Shikamaru can't really do much to stop Kimimaro. They're left to deal with Tayuya alone. Meanwhile, she's not exactly thrilled, and Shikamaru comes up with a plan. They come up with a plan to take her on together. At least that's what they say. Except for when Naruto goes in for his attack, he instead just jumps over her and starts running off. But before he does, he taunts her. he spanks his butt and tells her to, and basically tells her to kiss it before running off, which, ticks her off a little bit because, meanwhile, Shikamaru's taunting her, telling her that she fell for the oldest trick in the book, while he's left to face her alone. Naruto takes off after Kimimaru and Sasuke. The two face off. You get to see Tayuya's jutsu. She uses her Chains of Fantasia to summon some demons, which Shikamaru struggles with at first, but after analyzing them and freaking figuring out how she controls them with her flute, based on just the finger movements and not the actual sound she's making, which is absolutely insane, by the way. Shikamaru's intellect is crazy, which she comments on. He manages to, and not only that, but he manages to catch her in a trap and hit her with his shadow possession jutsu. But she goes into her second state of her curse mark, skipping first state altogether. Well, not skipping first state. She was using first state when she was using her jutsu. But anyways, when she goes into second state, he's no longer able to control her, even with his Shadow Strangle jutsu. She manages to move and break out enough to hit him with her genjutsu. However, she talked a little too much, and Shikamaru did bait her into it. He said he was surprised that she didn't attack with anything, and she mentioned that she doesn't have any weapons other than her flute, which is why, as he was getting hit with the genjutsu, he threw a kunai at her, and his last kunai at her, and deliberately missed. Meanwhile, using his Shadow Strangle jutsu in order to break his own finger to get out of the jutsu. Then Tayuya, not realizing that he had escaped from the jutsu, came in and went to grab the kunai that Shikamaru threw at her, as he expected her to. Like, that's why he threw it at her, so that she would pick it up and have a means of attacking him at close range. Then when she came in to go slit his throat while he was helpless, or helpless as she thought, he went and moved and punched her in the gut. And from there, he activated his Shadow Strangle jutsu at point blank range, because that one is stronger the closer you are. He was doing it from quite some distance originally, so that was why she was able to move so easily. But now that it was point blank range, she wasn't able to move as easy. But she was still able to resist it with her curse mark, and she just kept growing in power with it in order to hold him off. And it was kind of a stalemate for a while. The two just kind of stood there fighting. Tayuya with the kunai aimed at Shikamaru's throat, ready to strike. Meanwhile, Shikamaru with his Shadow Strangle jutsu, ready to choke the life out of her with that as soon as he got the chance. But neither was able to really do anything. And they mostly just taunted each other back and forth for a while. And you really saw her foul mouth a lot. I don't want to repeat too much of what she says because, YouTube. But yeah, that was a whole thing. She's a fun one. And right as Shikamaru was ready to, eventually Shikamaru ran out of chakra, and he was ready to kiss his butt goodbye, just as he was in a previous instant where he got saved by Asuma. He's like, yeah, what are the odds of that happening again? Like, basically 0. And then Tamari saved him by hitting Tayuya with a wind gust at that moment. At which point, she kind of retreated. Meanwhile, Shikamaru explained the situation to her. And then she used a massive wind jutsu, destroying the entire forest that they were in, just chopping all the trees into little bits. Well, they didn't know where Tayuya was, but they knew she was close enough to be in range of the jutsu, and she ended up getting crushed by some of the logs, and she was killed. So that was kind of the end of Tayuya. You do see her again in Shippuden, in one of the fillers where the Sound 4 get brought back. Um, and they lure the same ninja back into their trap. But I'm not going to get into that too much because that is kind of a filler. But yeah, she was quite the foul-mouthed one. Um, she did, back to the original Naruto, after she got hit by Tamari's blast, she did actually mention that it was like Tamari was born to fight her, being able to attack and defend simultaneously with her wind. Since wind can easily block sound, since sound is really nothing but waves in the air. So that does actually make sense. So yeah, that's Tayuya for you. She's she's something, all right. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I always love hearing from you. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. Maybe subscribe to the channel for more Naruto character reviews, although I mostly do Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 stuff, so if you enjoy D&D 3.5, definitely subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on a video. Anyways, as always, I'm Mitch. I'll be seeing you